So this is my first like kind of YouTube video, also showing my face. But if you read the video, like the description, you know, we're gonna be talking about bulking. Obviously I'm not like claiming to be big at all, but I mean I made some progress over the past year or so. So I'm just gonna be showing you some cheat codes for me that I've learned, because a lot of like videos out there, like they just don't get to the point. They're like 30 minutes, 40 minutes long, and sometimes you just don't even like really get the information. It's just too complex, you know. So I'm trying to make it into a short like video. So first off, I'm gonna be like going over 3 topics. These are the 3 things. So it's gonna be diet, it's gonna be like sleep, and training. Those are gonna be the main things I'm talking about. So first, starting off with diet, if you're a skinny teen like me, trying to bulk up and stuff, you want to be in a caloric surplus. If you're not, it's like, how are you gonna make progress? You're just not. If you're not like eating more than you're burning in a day, you know, you might as well just not lift. But if you're lifting in your caloric surplus, then that's good. When I first started lifting, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know like how much I needed to eat. So what I do recommend is something like this. That is a calorie calculator, and it really helped me kind of get an estimate of like how much I needed to eat. So I'm not saying I'm that tall, but I'm around 6 foot. So I require a higher maintenance than someone who's like 5'3". Like I said, I'm not that tall, but I still require, because I have a higher body mass than someone who is shorter. So when you put that in, try to be like honest. You know, when you say about your height, how many days a week you're trying to train, be honest with all of it, and your weight, because it like gets an estimate based off of what you put in. So if you put in, you know, you're 6 foot and however much you weigh, how many days a week you train, that's going to give you an estimate based off of what you filled in. So you want to be completely honest with it. If you're like 2 inches off your height, because you might not know how exactly tall you are, that's fine. But if you're like 5'7", saying you're 6 foot or something like that, I would not recommend doing that. Just be honest with your height, okay? So that would be the first thing, and then you get an estimate. So that is usually how much I need to eat. I don't know why I use 2 fingers to do that, but you get the point. So that's how much I need to eat, and if I'm eating that or just a little more than that, because that's my maintenance, then I'm good. I'm gonna be in a caloric surplus. I'm training 4 or 5 times a week. I'm, eating in a caloric surplus, I'm gonna gain weight. It's gonna take more time depending on how much calories you eat. Let's say your maintenance is 2,500 calories, okay? If you're eating like 2,800 calories, you're gonna gain weight because that's in a caloric surplus. As long as it's 200 calories more than like your maintenance, you're gonna gain weight. It's just gonna take longer. I prefer doing like a 500 calorie surplus over my maintenance. That's usually what I like to do, because it's really hard for me to gain weight, and like 200 calories over might not work for me. But when you first starting off, that's what I did, and I made progress that way. But for me right now, I prefer doing like 500 calories over just in a surplus. So I'm doing that. And then another thing is protein. Depending on how much you weigh, right now I'm not at a weight I want to be at, but I'm 160 pounds right now. Definitely not where I want to be at, but we're getting there. We're trying to make progress. So that's about how much protein I'm supposed to be consuming. So if you weigh like, let's say you're 170 pounds or something like that, that's how much protein you need to be eating. So I went over it, caloric surplus, and then protein. So if you're doing that, you're just going to make progress. And then I'm going to put up here. This is literally cheat code. You put a cup of this into, you put a cup of this pasta, and you put a cup of it into like a pan. You boil up the water, and if you don't really know how to do that, I'll make a video on it, but like what I do for it. So if you put a cup in that, oh my god, I can't get to the point. You put a cup of that pasta, right, into a pan and boil that. That's 800 calories, bro. 800 calories. And on top of that, you know, the pasta by itself, I mean, it doesn't really taste that good. So if you add like pesto into it, like this, I get a lot of my stuff from Walmart. Doesn't have to be that healthy. It could be healthy-ish, you know. But you're bulking. You're not going to be, like, I'd say it's a cleanish bulk. It's not really that clean, but, you know. And another thing I recommend is a protein shake. So not just protein shakes that you, like, you know, you get the whey protein, you mix it into a shaker and shake it up. I mean like a protein smoothie. So if you have a blender at home, that'd be really nice. They're not that expensive to get one. I think some of them are like maybe $20. I don't know. I could be wrong. But getting a blender, and I'll also put, if I can in this video, the description to the protein shake that I drink right now. It's 1,000 calories, and it's like 60, 70 grams of protein. It's really easy for me to drink down. So yeah, and that already right there, I just listed 2,000 calories and like close to 100 grams of protein. So that's what it is basically for diet. It's not that complicated. But if you do that, I guarantee you'll make progress, because that's what I used to look like before, and then about a year later, this is what I look like. So yeah, I'm not the biggest, you know. I would like to be bigger. I would like to weigh a little more. I like to be stronger, but I did make progress, and this was not from puberty. This was not from, like, a lot of my doctors, they told me that it's just because I've grown up and I'm getting older. No, it's because I picked up the fork, and that's what you have to do too. If you do that and you're in a caloric surplus and doing the stuff that I said, you're gonna make progress. You know, I don't look like I know a lot, but this stuff's, it's just proven, okay? It's gonna work. You just have to, and here's another thing. If, you know, like, you're doing that stuff and you're not gaining weight, and it's been like a month and you've been applying that and you're not gaining any weight at all, I recommend bumping the calories up a little more, maybe by 200, and see what that does, and just continuously do that. That's why I recommend the 500 calories, like surplus, because it's just, I know I'm going to be gaining weight. There's just impossible. I'm eating like 3,500 calories a day. There is no way I cannot gain weight. It's going to take a little longer. So, enough with diet. The next thing I'm going to say is sleep, okay? You know, you're planning on going to the gym, making progress and stuff, getting stronger, whatever your goal is, you know, to get bigger. You want to be sleeping. You know, you don't got to get 12 hours of sleep, but anywhere from like 7 to 8 hours of sleep is really good. You need it anyways for your general health. And that can be hard sometimes, but you know, you might not be perfect. If you can get 7 hours, I would say that'd be pretty solid. But that's also another reason why I didn't make any progress, because I would stay up all night, and then I would go work out the next day. I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't track anything, and I made no progress, and I look like a bitch. I still kind of do, but, you know, and that's just what I'm trying to say. So, if you're getting like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you're going to be good. I know that's hard, but it's a part of it. You're going to have to get used to it. It's just a matter of like how bad you want it, you know, and if you're willing to just do that, then just do it. I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect, but just try, you know, just try to see what that does. Okay. And another thing is training. Okay. This Right now I'm running an upper lower split right now because I'm getting the decent amount of volume and stuff on my legs, because that's another thing. My legs are not my strong suit. And what I am going to recommend, if you're starting off in the gym, let's say you're like maybe 13, 14, I would recommend, highly recommend, like a full body kind of 3 days a week training. Reason why I say that is because you're training your muscles 3 times a week compared to like doing a bro split. And it just doesn't make sense. But when you do find one, I really recommend, like, when you do a 3-day split, find one that has more leg volume, because my upper body blew up. It wasn't the best, but it still, like, made the most progress, and I always got compliments on my chest. And I also realized later on down the road, not too long ago, that program was more chest-based. That's why my chest fucking blew up. Sorry for cussing, but that's basically just what happened. And the rest of my body was okay, but my legs were just twigs, dude. I hated it. So heavy squats are not enough. I mean, if you're starting off, they're really not. Some people say they are, but you know, you don't want to believe me. Tom Platz himself, he does the barbell squats. Don't get me wrong. There's videos of him doing it, but there's also videos of him doing leg extensions and hack squats, machines, stuff like that. So don't just think the squat is the main thing. My legs grow way more when I add a little bit of machines in there. If you can't, there are videos on that stuff. I can't really say that, but like, I don't really know what to recommend you. But if you're able to go to a commercial gym, then I really recommend the leg extensions too. You can do barbell squats, but for me, they just don't grow my legs as much because I'm doing all this kind of stuff for my upper body, but like my lower body, it's just getting squats. That's not enough. You need hamstrings. You need more volume in the hamstrings, and the heavy squats are just not enough. And yeah. So that's basically all I can really say. So it's my first video. Not perfect, but hopefully I can get better at it. So hope you kind of got something from it. And yeah.